Have you ever experienced a moment so improbable that it felt like the universe itself was playing a trick on you? You're walking down a crowded street, and suddenly, someone calls your name. It's an old friend you haven't seen in years, or perhaps you lose a precious item, only to find it in the most impossible place at the exact moment you need it. These are not just lucky accidents. These are coincidences, the kind that make you stop and wonder if reality has some hidden plan. Across history and in our everyday lives, people encounter coincidences so unlikely that they almost defy logic. Some are small, like thinking of a song just before it starts playing on the radio. Others are life-changing, like narrowly avoiding disaster because of a split-second decision that seems guided by fate. Psychologists have studied why our brains notice these events, why we remember them, and why they often feel deeply meaningful. At first glance, a coincidence seems like a simple matter of chance. After all, with billions of people and billions of events happening every day, improbable things are bound to occur. But the human mind is wired to detect patterns, even where none exist. We are storytellers at heart, constantly trying to make sense of randomness. This is why some coincidences feel almost magical. They seem to tell a story that is bigger than ourselves. Consider this story. A woman named Clara had lost her wedding ring, a family heirloom she cherished more than anything. Weeks went by with no luck. One day, she absent-mindedly walked past a small local market and glanced down. There, on the edge of a fruit stall, her ring glimmered in the sunlight. The odds of it ending up in that exact spot, unnoticed for weeks, are astronomically small. Yet, for Clara, it felt like fate had guided her steps. Psychologists would say this is a combination of probability and perception, yet the emotional impact cannot be denied. Another incredible story happened to a man named David. He was traveling in a foreign country and, by pure chance, struck up a conversation with a stranger at a cafe. They discovered they had grown up in the same small town, attended the same school, and even shared mutual friends. In a world of millions, what are the odds of such an encounter? David called it an impossible coincidence, and many would agree. It seems to stretch the boundaries of probability. Our brains are constantly searching for meaning, even in random events. This tendency, called apophenia, explains why we notice coincidences and assign significance to them. We remember the striking events, the moments that feel uncanny, and we forget the thousands of ordinary moments that pass without notice. This is why some people seem to experience an unusual number of coincidences. They are simply more attuned to noticing patterns. Psychologists also point to confirmation bias. Once we believe the world is connected in certain ways, we start noticing events that confirm that belief. You might think, I always bump into the same people, and suddenly, every encounter feels like a meaningful coincidence. Your mind filters reality to support the narrative you are subconsciously telling yourself. Yet, some coincidences go beyond what our cognitive biases can explain. Take the case of Anne, a woman who survived a violent storm while hiking. She had taken a completely different path than usual, one that seemed arbitrary at the time. That day, a tree fell directly on the trail she normally took, cutting off access entirely. The odds of her changing paths at the exact moment that would save her life are nearly impossible. While we could attribute this to chance, the psychological weight of such events leaves people searching for deeper meaning. Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, called these events synchronicities, moments where two unrelated events are connected by meaning rather than cause. Jung argued that sometimes the universe seems to respond to our inner thoughts or emotions, creating experiences that feel purposeful. Whether you interpret these moments as fate, luck, or subconscious influence, they leave a lasting impression on our psyche. Everyday coincidences also reveal the subtle ways our brains interact with probability. For example, have you ever thought of someone only to receive a call from them seconds later? This is called the frequency illusion, or the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon. Once something catches your attention, it seems to appear everywhere. Your brain prioritizes noticing related events, giving ordinary coincidences an extraordinary feel. The rarity of coincidences also amplifies their emotional impact. A single event that happens once in a million times can change how we view the world. We remember it vividly, tell the story over and over, and sometimes even change our behavior because of it. Stories of survival, chance encounters, and lost treasures found against all odds are shared across cultures because they resonate with a universal truth. Humans crave meaning in randomness. Sometimes, coincidences stretch across generations. Families often share stories of events so improbable that they seem almost scripted. Perhaps a grandfather narrowly avoided a shipwreck, only for his grandson to experience a similar narrow escape decades later. These stories create a narrative thread, connecting past and present, weaving coincidence into the fabric of memory and identity. Even in modern times, coincidences continue to astonish. A young man named Alex found a wallet on the street and decided to return it. When he arrived at the owner's home, he discovered they shared the same birthday. Later, he realized they even had the same first name. The layers of improbability pile up, leaving everyone involved questioning whether the event was purely random or guided by something unseen. Psychology teaches us to analyze these moments carefully. While our tendency to find patterns can explain some coincidences, it doesn't diminish the wonder they inspire. Every improbable encounter reminds us that our world is full of mysteries, waiting to be noticed. And even if science can calculate probabilities, it cannot capture the emotional resonance that makes a coincidence feel personal, meaningful, and impossible. The more we study these events, the more we realize that coincidences are not just accidents. They are reflections of our attention, our expectations, and our stories. They highlight the fragile boundary between randomness and meaning, chance and destiny. Perhaps, in some strange way, the universe is reminding us that life is richer than probability alone can describe. So the next time something impossible happens, pause and notice. Whether it is a meeting that defies logic, a thought answered by reality, or an event that seems perfectly timed, acknowledge it. These coincidences are part of what makes human experience astonishing, mysterious, and deeply psychological. We may never fully explain why some coincidences happen, or why they feel so meaningful. But one thing is certain. In every improbable event, there is a story, and in every story, there is a glimpse of something greater than ourselves. These moments remind us to remain curious, attentive, and open to the mysteries that everyday life presents. Because in the end, the impossible is happening all around us, every single day. And sometimes all we can do is marvel at it. So tell me, do you think these moments are just random? Or is the universe trying to tell you something? What if every coincidence is a whisper from the universe, guiding you when you least expect it? Is it all just probability and perception? Or could there be something more behind the impossible? Is it all just probability and perception? Or could there be something more behind the impossible?